Some loves do not fade, no matter how far the distance grows or how loudly the world changes around them. They do not ask to be seen or held every day. They simply remain, quietly breathing inside the heart. I learned this kind of love through you. Not the kind written in grand promises, but the kind stitched into memory through small gestures, fleeting smiles, and moments that never asked for attention yet became eternal. Even now, when time has moved forward, something in me still lives where you once stood. I remember you in the smallest details, in the way morning light touches the curtains, in the pause between two heartbeats, in the silence that arrives after laughter fades. Love did not leave with your absence. It only changed its shape. It became softer, deeper, more patient. It learned how to survive without touch, how to exist without words, and somehow that made it stronger. What we shared was not loud, but it was real. And reality has a way of refusing to disappear. Distance tested us, not by breaking love, but by revealing its truth. I learned how devotion can live in quiet acts, in remembering your favorite song, in saving words I can never send, in carrying your presence into rooms you will never enter. Even apart, you shaped the way I see the world. Every challenge life placed before me felt lighter because loving you taught me endurance. Love became something I carried, not something I waited for. There were nights when silence spoke your name louder than any voice. I would sit with my thoughts and feel you there, not as a memory fading, but as a feeling still alive. It amazed me how love could remain untouched by time, how it could survive unanswered questions and unfinished stories. I stopped asking why things happened the way they did and started accepting that some loves are meant to live inside us, not beside us. What makes love eternal is not how long two people stay together, but how deeply they change each other. You left traces on my soul that no distance could erase. You taught me patience through longing, strength through vulnerability, and beauty through letting go. Even in moments of weakness, I felt your influence guiding me, reminding me of who I became because of loving you. Sometimes I wonder if you feel it too, that quiet pull, that gentle reminder that somewhere, someone still holds you in their heart without conditions. There is no demand in this love, no expectation of return. It simply exists, pure and unwavering. It does not ask the world to understand it. It only asks for a place to live, and my heart has never refused it. Life continued as it always does. Days passed, seasons changed, and new experiences found their way into my story. Yet nothing replaced you. Some loves are not meant to be replaced. They are meant to be honored. You remain in the way I love others, in the way I pause before speaking, in the way I believe in devotion even when it is difficult. That is how I know love can be forever, not by staying the same, but by staying true. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can feel the warmth of what we shared. It is not painful anymore. It is peaceful. A quiet flame that does not burn but glows. A reminder that love does not need presence to be alive. It needs meaning, and ours had more than enough to last a lifetime. So if the world forgets us, if time erases the paths we once walked, it does not matter. Love lives where it is remembered, and you are remembered deeply. In my heart, you are not a chapter that ended, but a verse that continues. Forever remembered, forever carried, forever loved. Some loves are not measured by time or proximity. They are measured by how deeply they settle into the soul. Ours became that kind of love for me. The quiet kind that doesn't fade when voices disappear or hands let go. Even when the world kept moving forward, something within me stayed right where you left it, holding on to what we were. I remember you in the smallest details, the ones no one else would notice. The pause before a smile, the softness in your voice when you spoke my name, the way silence felt full when you were near. Those moments did not end when we did. They found a home inside my heart and refused to leave. Distance tried to rewrite our story, but love had already written itself too deeply. Miles only changed the shape of us, not the truth. I learned how devotion could exist without touch, how connection could survive without presence, and how love could breathe even when it stood alone. There were nights when I felt you more strongly in absence than I ever did in closeness. The quiet carried your memory like a whisper that refused to fade. In those moments, I understood that love does not need to be loud to be real. It only needs to be honest. Time passed as it always does, but it did not erase you. It softened the ache, but it sharpened the meaning. Every challenge life placed in front of me reminded me of the strength loving you gave me. Even apart, you continued shaping the person I was becoming. I carried you into places you never went, into conversations you never heard, into choices you never saw. Yet your influence was always there, guiding me quietly. Love like that does not demand recognition. It simply exists, steady and enduring. Sometimes I wonder if you feel it too. That gentle pull, that unspoken connection that never asks for permission. There are no expectations left between us, no promises to fulfill, only a shared understanding that something real once lived and still echoes. What makes love eternal is not staying together forever, but leaving something behind that cannot be taken back. You left patience in my heart, softness in my words, and a deeper understanding of what it means to care without conditions. Even silence became meaningful after you. It no longer felt empty. It felt full of unspoken emotions. In that silence, I learned how love can survive without explanation, how it can exist without needing to be named every day. The world changed and so did I, but the core of what we shared remained untouched. Some memories grow fragile with time. Ours grew stronger. They became a quiet source of comfort rather than pain, a reminder that something beautiful once existed. I stopped asking why things ended the way they did. Acceptance replaced confusion, and peace slowly replaced longing. Not because love disappeared, but because it matured into something calmer, something that no longer needed answers to survive. You are present in the way I love now, more carefully, more honestly, more deeply. Loving you taught me that devotion is not about possession. It is about presence, even when that presence is only felt inside the heart. There were moments when I tried to let you go completely, but love asked only to be remembered, not erased. And so I let it stay quietly. Without resistance, without pain, just as a part of who I am. Life offered new paths, new faces, new beginnings, yet none of them replaced you. Some loves are not meant to be replaced. They are meant to coexist with everything that comes after, shaping it gently from the background. Even now, I can feel the warmth of what we shared when I least expect it. A song, a familiar scent, a sudden memory. All reminders that love does not vanish simply because circumstances change. I no longer grieve what we lost. I honor what we had. There is a difference. Grief clings to pain, but honor carries gratitude. And I am grateful for every moment that taught me how deeply a heart can feel. If love could speak, ours would speak softly. It would not ask for attention or recognition. It would simply say that it lived fully, honestly, and without regret. Even if the world forgets our names, even if our paths never cross again, it does not lessen what we were. Love does not need witnesses to be real. It only needs truth. You remain in the quiet strength I carry, in the tenderness I protect, in the belief that real love never truly ends. It only changes form. So I carry you with me, not as a wound, but as a memory that glows softly. Forever remembered, not because we stayed, but because we mattered. Forever loved, not because we promised, but because we felt. Some loves are written into us so deeply that time cannot touch them. They do not fade with distance or silence. They simply learn how to live quietly. Ours became that kind of love for me, the kind that stays even when everything else moves on. I remember you not in grand moments, but in the smallest ones. The way your presence softened the air, the way my heart felt calm just knowing you existed. Those details stayed long after everything else changed. Distance arrived slowly, almost gently, as if it did not want to hurt us. Yet even then, love did not leave. It only changed its voice, speaking through memory instead of touch. There were days when silence felt louder than words ever had. In that silence, I felt you close, closer than when we stood side by side. Love has strange ways of staying alive. Time passed, but it never erased your imprint. It softened the sharp edges, but it deepened the meaning. Loving you taught me patience I never had before. I carried you into my mornings and my nights, into decisions you never saw and battles you never knew about. Your influence stayed, steady and unseen. Sometimes I wondered if love could survive without hope. Then I realized hope was no longer necessary. Memory was enough. What we shared was not loud or dramatic. It was gentle, honest, and real. Those are the kinds of loves that last the longest. Even absence felt meaningful after you. It taught me how to feel without reaching, how to care without asking for anything in return. The world changed around me, but the part of my heart you touched stayed the same. Some things are not meant to evolve. They are meant to remain. I stopped asking why things ended. The question no longer mattered. What mattered was that something true had lived between us. You taught me that love is not possession. It is presence, even when that presence exists only in memory. I learned how devotion can be silent, how it can live in restraint, in respect, in letting go without forgetting. There were moments when I tried to move past you completely. But love does not ask to be erased, only understood. New faces appeared, new paths opened, yet none of them replaced you. Some loves are not meant to be replaced. You became part of the way I love now. Softer, slower, more careful with fragile hearts. Even now, a familiar song can bring you back in an instant. Not painfully, and just gently, like a reminder. I realized that love does not end when people separate. It ends only when it is forgotten. And I never forgot you, not even for a moment. You stayed quietly, faithfully. There is peace in accepting that some stories do not need endings. They simply change form. You live in the pauses between my thoughts, in the calm after emotional storms. I no longer grieve what we lost. I protect what we had. That love shaped me in ways nothing else ever could. It made me stronger without making me harder. Even silence feels gentle now, as if it understands what once existed. I do not need the world to recognize our love. It was never meant for noise. What we shared was enough, more than enough. Somewhere between memory and heartbeat, you still exist. Not as longing anymore, but as warmth. Love like that does not fade. It settles. And so you remain forever remembered, forever carried, forever alive in my heart.